Today we're gonna unbox and set up a critical piece of hardware for any serious flight simmer, the WinCTRL MCDU. In this video we're gonna walk you through multiple steps. First of all, we start with unboxing, right? What comes with the MCDU, which kind of, say, screws and tools. Then we're looking at the bracket connectivity, which options are there. And then finally we also start constructing that bracket onto the MCDU. I will look at both options for the desktop mounting and I will showcase the advantages and disadvantages of both of them. That's why I also want to share my lessons learned, because I also had some gotchas during assembling the MCDU with those nice brackets. But first, let's roll the intro. In this video we're gonna look at the MCDU from WinCTRL. I just received it and it comes with a lot of things, right? So this is the MCDU itself, which you can see nicely connected. There's protection screen on top of it. It comes in a well-fitted box, and also those buttons feel, I'd say, really nice. Besides that, it comes with these brackets, and these brackets can be used two ways. This position, where the MCDU will take a little bit more of your desk space, but you can also use it like this. In that case, the MCDU will be a little bit more, I would say, standing vertically, but it will consume less desk space. And you can see a lot of screws, holes, which are connected or can be connected to these screws holes, which are on the MCDU. Now it comes with a lot of screws, as you can see. Also it comes with a lot of tools, including a screwdriver, but also some other tools, which you can use to connect the MCDU to the brackets, right? Maybe you should zoom in a little bit further. So these are the screws. Now, of course, connecting it is a little bit challenging to the brackets if I need to record it with my camera in my hand. So what I will do is I will showcase you which screws I'm going to use, and then we'll connect them first, and then we will show you how it looks like. So first of all, you need to have this nice blue thing, and this nice blue thing, you need to look at it very carefully because it has two sides. It has this side, which is, let's say, well, the back, and this side, which is the front. Because if you look at the screws, which is, for example, this one, it falls into that, I would say, a nice position, right? I'm not sure if I'm showing the correct one. Yes, I'm showing the correct one, double checking. If you look at this, if I connect it like this, it will fall and it will become nicely mounted, in this case, in this blue, let's say, blue protection. As you can see over here, right? It's like this. Then, of course, we've got this nice, or this small thing, which you can see, it's really small, and that needs to be connected to the back of the bracket. So what I will do now is I'll pause the recording, and then we'll, I'd say, connect one of them, and then we'll show you how it looks like. So I've got one connected, and as you can see, I would recommend you to use this nice packaging material to put your MCDU on. So here you can see let's say one of the parts, and here you can see the other one, right? So it's nicely connected. It's really challenging using the, I would say, pre-delivered tools like the screwdriver to connect it, to be honest. And I did this simply by holding it with my hand, because as you can see, there are some other nice tools which you can use, but it's almost impossible to, let's say, put them in this area. So what I will now do is I will connect the remaining bolts for the bracket, and then we'll continue with the next steps. So I connected everything, right? So everything is now connected, and you can see those nice blue things, but there are still some options over here. And that's why they also say in the manual that you need to add another set of screws on the top. Those are the smaller ones, which you can see over here, with the same blue, I would say, kind of dot, or I'd say protection, or I'm not sure how you call it. So I will connect them, and then we'll show you the final result. So here's the final result. As you can see, the screws are now also on the top, right? Super nice. And also on the bottom. And if you look at the back, you can simply see this, right? It's also, I would say, it looks pretty cool. So now, of course, it's time for the next step, because we still have some screws left. So likely we need to do something with that. And there also are some cable connectors where we need to do something with. What should we do with that? Well, let's have a look at that part. Well, the next step is of course connecting this nice cable, and that's why you also need those other screws which I just showed you. So to connect them, what you need to do is lay the MCDU on a protective material, at least that would be my recommendation. And there you can see a nice options, right? You can see the USB and the power only one. According to the manual, you should, I would say, position this one in the USB one. So I'm going to put it in the USB. So here we go. And now it's well connected. But you can still see that there's, say, a lot of wobbling between the, I would say, on the cable. So that's where those nice things come into. These nice things I'm referring to, which can be used to, let's say, kind of connect the cable using those larger screws based on my understanding. But I will double check that. Because what you can see over here, you can also see screw holes on the side where you can use those nice instruments for. To connect them, I will first connect it and then we'll show you how I connected them, because again, it's almost impossible to do it with one hand. So, and this is the final end result, right? It would look like this. Say, think a little bit weird because would say you can still push it, right? You can see, but hey, it's well connected and you can see that I can move it around if I want. So that I would say, I think it's good enough for now. So let's keep it that way. If you want to put them in other screw holes, you can also still do that, right? You can, for example, put them in this one, if you prefer. The manual is not very clear about which one to use. So likely it's a little bit of testing. One thing which I want to give you as a hint is make sure that you do this before connecting the cable, because else it might be a little bit hard to, say, get the screw in. But again, it's up to you. Now, the final part, of course, is putting something nice on the bottom. And that's where these nice white things are coming for. According to the manual, you can put 4 of them on the bottom. I'm not going to show that part because I don't think it's really, I would say, difficult to do that. So this is the end result, right? The white dots are on the bottom, and you can see I can still have plenty left. So if I decide to do it another way, then I can do that. One thing which they are recommending you is to firmly press it for 10 seconds and then let it, would say, rest for 30 minutes at least, because else they might release. So make sure that you push firmly and then wait for 30 minutes and then see how it works. And would say for now, I can say that they already are not moving anymore, but I will keep this for 30 minutes now, and then we can continue with the rest of this video. So here's the final output, but as you can see, I would say I'm not too happy with this, right? Because it's really wobbly. For some reason, I really need to set it like this or to my monitor, else it will fail. So what I've decided to do is kind of, let's say, redo the bracket work. So let me show you in a short video on how I changed this. So here we go, I disconnected everything, right? So the first thing we need to do is, of course, connect that dock again. And to connect that dock, or to connect those brackets again, I should say, what I need to do is I need to move them like this. And there's one thing which you need to keep in mind is that if you look at the manual, which is over here, it says, hey, you need to make sure that you're connecting it the correct way. So that means that it needs to be a little bit shifted down, which is a kind of interesting, of course, to see. So let's do that, right? So I'm gonna connect it like this. So again, I will stop the recording and simply start, I would say, connecting all those nice screws, which you can see over here. Keep in mind that you need to watch carefully which screws you connect, because there's a difference between the larger one and the smaller ones. So that's something which is really important. So the larger ones need to be on the top, while the smaller one needs to be on the bottom. So let me pause the recording, connect the screws, and we'll be back in a few seconds. So the MCDU has been assembled, right? You can see it. Everything is there, also on the bottom, and it stands far more stable compared to the previous method. I do think it's the weight of the MCDU, to be honest, which makes it, I would say, flapping around. But we still need to connect the cable. The cable needs to be connected to this left side USB. So let's do that. And then we've got this nice kind of cable glider. And there's a screw hole on the side, which is kind of hard to see, but I will push it in, then you can maybe see it a little bit more clear. Here it is, right on the top. And that's where we're gonna connect that glider to. So let me do that, trying to do that. two things at the side, which is always not always a good idea. But it will look something like this. I will now, I would say, kind of readjust it, and we'll start recording again once it has been connected. So it has been connected, and I will show it also from the sideways. So right, this is how I connected it. Say it looks pretty stable, right? You can move it around. Of course, still need to put those white things on the bottom. Luckily, they're providing enough of these white dots. And according to the manual, let me look at it. There should be, I would say, 2 on each side, but I'm not going to record it because it doesn't make any sense. Keep in mind that you need to push very hard on these things, 10 seconds again, and then wait at least 30 minutes before you move it around. So this is where we end this video, where we looked at how you can construct the MCDU, right? I hope you liked it. If you liked it, then hit the like button and keep an eye on my channel, because there will also be a video on setting up the MCDU, right? Really connecting it to your machine and then really start using it. Thanks for watching, and hope to see you back next time.